It's time to talk sports. It's Hacksaw's Headlines, a panorama of the world of sports, stories, comments, and opinions. Now, here's iconic sports talk show host Lee Hacksaw Hamilton and co-host John Riley.
Who wants to talk sports on a Monday? We do, you do. From the DIXIELINE Lumber and Home Center studios in San Diego, coming off a great sports weekend, we welcome you to our Monday bonus podcast. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Lee Hacksaw Hamilton, along with my co-host and the founder of this podcast. It's all his bleeping fault, John Riley. We welcome you to Hacksaw's Headlines. This podcast is brought to you by DIXIELINE Lumber and Home Centers, 9 locations to serve you in San Diego. You've got projects for 2025. You need topics. You want some material. You need ideas. DIXIELINE Lumber is there to serve you in a wide variety of fashions. Invite you to go to DIXIELINE.com to see all the things they can do for you with home and business projects. John Riley, we're taking a deep breath coming off an unbelievable World Series, NFL weekend, college football. Time to start breathing heavy again because baseball free agency is right there in front of us. This thing never, ever stops. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, we had the Dodgers won the World Series. You think, okay, I can hit the pause button on baseball. But no, we got to keep on going. And the NFL was wild. College football was wild. And basketball is starting this week for the college sports. And I'm thrilled for that.
So we're going to go a lot of different directions on this podcast. Just a couple of business notes. We do sports talk the way it should be done. We put a lot of topics on the table. We do express opinions, me in studio, sometimes him from left field, about the topics on the table. But when we're done, we open it up and we invite you to join us in what's called Fans Forum. And we're looking for first-timers, newcomers, Rookie of the Year candidates to join this cavalcade of people who ask questions, make statements, express opinions. So for everybody new on the live stream, John, how does Fans Forum work?
Rookie of the Year, the cavalcade. All right, hey, if you got a question or comment in the world of sports, drop your take in the live chat on Facebook, on YouTube, or on X. We'll get you involved in Fans Forum. And Lee, they were piling in before we hit the go live button.
Lots to cover. Couple of other notes. I write about sports every day. If you have not checked my website, you're really missing something. When we're done with this podcast, check the website, leehacksawhamilton.com. I write about the best 15 minutes in sports. It's there first thing every morning. It's posted all day into the night. I write a one-man's opinion column. You got to read what I wrote today about the history of Dodger baseball as it relates to the Dodgers and the Padres. You're a baseball fan, check my one-man's opinion column. Want you to join us on social media so you can take part in Hacksaw's mini polls. I'm on X. Just go to Twitter. Want you to become part of the Twitter All-Star team. Type in my name, Lee Hacksaw Hamilton. Hit the follow button there. Then you can join me in the mini poll votes every night of the week. Want you to share. Tell everybody what we do Mondays and Thursdays at 1:30. Subscribe. When you subscribe, you will get access to all the additional videos that we put up on the YouTube channel. You get that when you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Want you to give us a thumbs up, give us a 5-star rating, hit the follow button. It really helps us grow. We don't know how this happened. We don't know how this worked. John just informed me. We did a commentary that was posted over the weekend. We had 18,000 hits in one day. We believe it had something to do with the Dodgers, the Padres, the World Series. But that's our content is out there all hours of the day, all times of the week. So we hope you will hit a hot button, join us, tell your friends who we are. We're going a lot of different directions. John, I'm ready to talk baseball. I took my deep breath. I hit the reset button. I had 15 minutes before I dove into the next topic on the table, but let's talk about the Fall Classic.
The Fall Classic, the Dodgers emerge victorious.
Greatest of all time. Now, item one, all these people who are haters or piling in and just ripping me for my public stance on the World Series and the commentaries about the Dodgers being dead, the Dodgers in trouble, the Dodger way doesn't work, etc. Okay, you have your right to your opinion when I make statements certain days of the week about the situations that day of the week. things and circumstances change. And for everybody said, oh, he's a hater. He's based in San Diego. Dude was wearing a Dodger hoodie leading into the World Series. That means Padre fans are now reveling on me that I'm a Padre hater because I'm wearing Dodger colors. Make up your mind. No, I'm only kidding. You're allowed to have your opinion today. Your opinion might change tomorrow based on what I'm going to say tomorrow. Unbelievable World Series. I think the greatest World Series of all time. I'm just going to walk you through some headlines and notes I made. Dodgers equal dynasty. Period, exclamation point. End of conversation. You get 3 rings in 6 years. You get 11 division titles in a 12-year span. 9 World Series rings over the history of the franchise. You've been in the Fall Classic 26 times. Yeah, Dodger dynasty. And how about that Game 7? Dodgers rally from a 3-0 deficit. Dodgers hit 3 solo home runs. Then the Dodgers make every type of big defensive play there is in the book to preserve the victory. Yamamoto, on 17 hours rest, comes back with 3 shutout innings in Game 7. Max Muncy, hands around his throat in a terrible World Series slump, hits a home run in the 8th to start the comeback. Miguel Rojas, bench sitter, solo home run in the 9th to tie it. Will Smith, line drive shot to win it in the 11th. Heroes everywhere. Andy Pages can't hit. Andy Pages did bring his glove to the game. That game-saving leaping catch at the wall killed a Blue Jay rally. Rojas, the bases-loaded ground ball, throw to home plate, killed another rally. And then he triggered the series-ending double play, he to Betts to Freeman in the 11th to preserve the win. Felt bad for Toronto. Those guys were just so much fun to watch. Put the ball in play. Potential big innings. Bo Bichette with a 3-run bomb early. Heartbroken, though. The Jays went 3 for 17 with guys in runner scoring position in the 7th and deciding game. 3 for 17. In Game 6, they went 1 for 9. So they did not hit when they had the opportunity. Dodgers equal dynasty. Sidebar. Dave Roberts, manager, ex-Padre, ex-Red Sox, ex-good guy. He's not the enemy. He's just a really great manager.
Ex-good guy? Still a good guy.
Good person. The intangibles that make Dave Roberts exceptional, and by the way, now he's got 3 World Series rings, which puts him in the Hall of Fame. He was able to meld all the metrics from the analytics guys upstairs into how to operate the pitching staffs, notably in the postseason. What they did a year ago when they extinguished the Padres' hopes, and what they did against the Blue Jays' big bats. He's also been able to manage the clubhouse, a clubhouse of millionaires, diverse cultures, personalities, egos, agendas. He's found leaders. He's mixed chemistry. What he's done that does not show up on a stat sheet is absolutely amazing. Dave Roberts, Hall of Fame manager. Just absolutely amazing. Dodgers equal dynasty. Your turn to respond.
Yeah, everything goes Marsha Brady's way, man. I mean, yeah, the Dodgers are legit. Are they a dynasty? Yeah, they are. I mean, they're good. There's no doubt that the Dodgers are really good. I don't think we ever questioned that. It's just that everything goes the Dodgers' way.
But they have to earn it.
Well, they did, but it's like, you roll out Miguel Rojas because Dave Roberts has a gut feel about this guy, and then he freaking hits the Hollywood home run in the 9th inning, and then he retrieved that hot shot. He was playing, on the grass, and he kind of stuttered and fell backwards, but still got off the throw. And they get Kiner Falefa by like a millimeter at home plate, and you're like, frickin' Dodgers. And then they rolling out Yamamoto. Is he better than Madison Bumgarner? People are asking questions. He shuts them down. It's like a Hollywood script.
But they earned it. A year ago this time, they eliminated the Padres when they were down 2-1 on a bullpen day, and they looked like they were dead in the water. and they eliminated the Blue Jays when they were down 3-2, going back to Skydome in Toronto and that raging madhouse of Jay fans. The Dodgers earned it. Respect the blue.
Well, yeah, they earned it. I mean, I'm not questioning that. You're right. They went on the road and back is against the wall and won 2 on the road in Toronto. I mean, they're a really good team. But it is kind of funny how so many Dodger fans wanted to fire Dave Roberts. You know, and now you're putting him in the Hall of Fame. You know, so it's just, it's just, as a guy that has been a frustrated Giants and Padre fan, it's just, you just kind of get tired of LA and Hollywood and the glitz and the glam and everything goes their way, So I don't know. Full respect to the players. They earned it. It's legit, but got to get ready for spring training, Lee. It's only a few months away.
Wait till next year. You're invoking wait till next year.
Well, so what else can you do? I mean, I'm going to watch basketball. I'm going to watch football. I got other things going on, but it's just, I mean, imagine if you were a Blue Jay fan right now. I mean, that's got to be tough, you had it in your hand.
But like I said, 3 for 17 with runners in scoring position in Game 7.
Yeah.
Could not bring them home.
Yeah. But that Clement kid, he hit well, but and what is your take on that whole Kiner Falefa thing? When he was about to score, didn't get a very big lead, didn't get a very big secondary lead. And why in the hell was he sliding into home plate? Because it wasn't a tag play.
Yep.
It was the bases were loaded. He should have just been running through, full steam ahead. He probably would have beaten that throw.
And Rojas had trouble getting the ball out of his glove.
Yeah, he had to double clutch, and he still got it off while he was on his back foot and got him by a millimeter. It's just so perfect.
To quote you, Dodgers.
Exactly.
Okay, you're a Dodger fan, you're a Padre fan, you're a baseball fan. The Fans Forum chat box is open. Just fill up the right side of our computer screen. Tell us what you've got to say. So you take a deep breath after Game 7, and here comes free agency, which started today. We're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to look at hot names on the board. John?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's some big, we've been talking about a lot of Padre names. You want to see the big board now, Lee?
Let's go ahead.
Let's go ahead. Look at these names.
These are the names on the hot list. Now, this includes free agents who became free agents effective Sunday morning and guys opting out of contracts who have now become free agents too. The list, there will be some add-ons to this list by the end of the week. Friday's the deadline for guys who are opting out to opt out and become free agents. But if you look at the list, the ex-Padre Dylan Cease, Michael King, ex-Padre, opts out. The relief ace Robert Suarez has opted out. Suarez deserves a big payday. He's earning $8 million a year coming off another 40-save season. Michael King opted out of a $15 million deal next season to become a free agent, but there is a track record of injury history. Cease opted out of a $13.7 million deal. He thinks there's a bigger payday. I think he's wildly erratic. Is somebody going to give him a 5-year contract? Because that reportedly is what he wants. Other names, Phillies frontline starter Ranger Suarez, and Framber Valdez of the Houston Astros. So those are marquee names. There are not a lot of names, marquee star pitchers on the free agent board. Top catcher, JT Realmuto. Is he going to leave Philadelphia? He wants mega money. Philly can't pay everybody $30 million per year. I think he's got to go to the right type of stadium for his power to be on display, but Realmuto of Philadelphia is there. I find it hard to believe that Pete Alonso would leave the New York market because it's just not the Mets, and he's been a cornerstone of the Mets. But it's his personality, it's endorsements. He's not going to get the same thing playing for somebody else. But Alonso wants a massive payday. Luis Arraez, 3-time batting champion, nickel and dime hitter. I don't know that he's more than a $14 million a year player. He's got limitations. Unique one is Josh Naylor, who wound up going from Arizona to Seattle. He wants a payday. Hits for some average, hits in the 290s, hits for some power. Is he a $30 million guy? Seattle wants to sign him. That's the first guy on their list to get done. Bichette, Toronto. He's obviously going to get a lot of play, but he's so beloved in Ontario. Can the Jays afford to let him to go? Would he leave Toronto? Alex Bregman has walked out on the Red Sox effective this morning. Now, this is the stunner. He was supposed to make $40 million next season. 40. And the year after that, another 40. He opted out to go on the open market. I don't know how much play Bregman's going to get. He's had an injury history. He's had stretches where he didn't play well at the end in Houston, Boston for a chunk this season. I think he had 280 with 21 home runs, and he walked away from a $40 million contract. Eugenio Suarez, the ex-Red, the ex-Diamondback, finished up in Seattle. He's on the open market. Now, he hit 50 home runs this season. But is that a long-term investment somebody wants to make in him based on this season? Bellinger just opted out this morning with the New York Yankees. And again, he's a Scott Boras client, so he'll just take the big payday. If it's on the moon, it's on the moon, and he'd go. Schwarber, unique individual, massive home run guy, big strikeout guy, lousy batting average guy. He's the kind of guy that's got to be in a certain type ballpark to excel, but he's there. And Kyle Tucker, who many think might be the most complete free agent available, ex-Astro, ex-Cub. But there's an injury history there. Did not have a great season at Wrigley Field because he was hurt. So as the baseball offseason begins, more bats on the market than there are frontline pitchers on the market. So, John, what do you think of that list?
I mean, all great players of varying degrees. It's just a question of where do they land, and are they going to be a difference maker to get a team that's on the cusp of the playoffs to get in and go deep? You know, are they going to be that magical, perfect fit? But I mean, there's a lot of guys on there. Like I look at Schwarber. That dude's a winner. You know, that guy he's not going to decline going for the next few years. Like some of these other dudes, you could say maybe they're on the tail end. You know, Bregman's kind of getting a little long in the tooth. You know, ARRAEZ, you know, we question his value. REALMUTO ain't young anymore, and he's playing a demanding position. So he's kind of a little hesitant on some of these names. I still love Cease, particularly Michael King for the Padres. Hope he can bring him back. Cease has the potential to be amazing still. Bellinger, I don't know. I think he seems a little washed up, a little bit spotty. Kyle Tucker seems pretty solid. But yeah, Schwarber is the name, man. I mean, if you want to get a dude, he's the dude.
Well, players can start signing Friday. Yesterday was the first day everybody goes on the open market. Conversations are taking place. Historically, the marquee names have stayed on that market for a long time into the winter. Nobody signed the first day of free agency. So it's going to be interesting to see if guys make their choices now and what happens going forward. Okay, so that's where we are. The Dodgers, the rumor is they're going to go after Tucker. But the Dodgers payroll is the Dodger payroll. The Padres, they're going to move dollars around. But the thing that worries me, the Padres are no longer elite. The Padres have so many holes in their pitching staff, and they can't solve them in free agency because the prices are so high, and there's not as many marquee guys there. So how are the Padres going to get healthy? I would tend to think maybe a trade or two, though A.J. Preller doesn't have a lot to trade, and maybe Pacific Rim, because that's where they've gone to find pitchers each of the last couple of years. Angels, they need desperate for pitching. Are they willing to pay the price? Does a guy want to go play for the Angels, knowing what that franchise has disintegrated into? So you're a baseball fan, jump on board. Anybody on that free agent list that John did a great job putting that together? Anybody on that free agent list that you make a run at if you're a Dodger or if you're a Padre or if you're an Angel fan? All things baseball. Okay, John, we go from that. News and notes. National Football League. Let's check the out-of-town scoreboard.
Yeah, week 9 in the NFL. There were some big games.
Chargers won in Tennessee. Lucky them. Justin Herbert just took so many wicked shots. He got sacked 6 times. Chargers lost both their offensive tackles early in the game on fluke hits where guys rolled up on the back of them. The Joe Alt injury looks more significant Then the Bobby Hart injury. Now they're talking an Alt may need surgery because he's re-injured the ankle again. This is terrible. Somehow Herbert survived 6 sacks, threw a touchdown, threw another bad interception, ran for a bunch of first downs, and got the Chargers an unimpressive 27-20 win over Tennessee. They used a 99-yard drive to finally put the Titans away. The Titans are just terrible, and Cam Ward is really struggling as a quarterback in terms of not having a lot of people around him. That was a pretty good Sunday night football game, wouldn't you say? Chiefs, Bills, Buffalo wins again. Josh Allen is 5-5 against Patrick Mahomes in the course of his career. Mahomes is 1-5, though, against the Bills in the regular season, but he owns them in postseason play.
Big time. Josh
Allen was 23 of 26 for 273 yards, but boy, he had other people really help him. James Cook ran for 114. Tight end Dalton Kincaid caught 114 yards in passes. Mahomes threw for 250 in that game on Sunday night. No touchdowns. They kept him out of the end zone, which is pretty impressive. Hard to believe Kansas City is 5-4 on the season. So that was a great Sunday night game. New England Patriots have won 6 in a row. They beat down Atlanta. Say Drake May is having himself a really good season for a second-year guy. Threw for 259, couple of touchdowns, did have 2 turnovers. He got sacked 6 times along the way. Michael Penix, he threw for 222 and 3 scores. He was playing catch-up ball all day, the Atlanta quarterback. Minnesota upset Detroit. How the hell is this possible? Minnesota, J.J. McCarthy, 2 touchdowns. He only threw for 143. Minnesota's defense, which was deplorable the week before against the Chargers, 5 sacks, fumble recovery, and just chased Jared Goff all over the building. Goff threw 2 touchdowns, but he was sacked 5 times. I mean, that's got to be an upset of the season. Pittsburgh did what I thought Pittsburgh would do. They ambushed the Colts. They beat the 7-1 Indianapolis Colts. What a day for the defense. This is a defense, John, that was giving up 386 yards per game. So un-Mike Tomlin-like. They come in yesterday. Pittsburgh has 3 picks, 3 fumble recoveries. That's 6 turnovers if you're doing new math. 6 takeaways and 5 sacks of Daniel Jones. And Jones was throwing it on every down. He threw for 332, but they just got overwhelmed. That was a surprise. Pittsburgh just tearing apart Indianapolis. Explain to me this. How does lowly Carolina with an injured quarterback go to Green Bay, beat the Packers on the turf at Lambeau Field? Jordan Love threw for 273, no touchdowns, bunch of injuries, interception, and a fumble at home. That was a shocker, too. Cincinnati, Chicago, back and forth, 7 lead changes. When it was done, the Bears 47, the Bumbles 42. Caleb Williams threw a 58-yard touchdown pass with 13 seconds to go, wiping out the unbelievably historic day of Joe Flacco. Caleb wound up with 280 and 3 scores. Their running game ran for 176. The Bengals defense, deplorable, gave up 526 in the game. They wasted Joe Flacco's 470-yard passing day. Flacco threw 4 touchdowns, had only 1 pick. And a sad note, too, they announced before game time the passing of Bob Trumpy, legendary Bengals tight end, sports talk guy in Cincinnati. Trump became an NBC TV analyst. He was exceptional at his job. He passes away at the age of 80. Other games, LA Rams, 6-2. They slugged the Saints. Matthew Stafford, 4 touchdowns. Raiders have fallen to 2-6. They lost again at the end. Wasted Geno Smith's 4-touchdown game, lost to the Jaguars. Brock Bowers, who's been hurt, 12 catches for 127, but the Raiders lost. And how about Jaguar kicker Cam Little? Indoors, at Allegiant Stadium, 68-yard field goal. Just crushed it, all-time record. And then the Sunday night game, Seattle. Sam Darnold came out slinging. 4 touchdowns in the first half against Washington, destroyed the Commanders. He hit 16 passes in a row. In the first half, he threw for 282 as they jumped out to a 38-7 lead. And, of course, a horrible injury to Jaden Daniels, season-ending dislocation of his left elbow. He was running for his life the whole day. Washington has really regressed, taken a real step backward, and this kid's been hurt. This kid has now had 5 injuries in 2 years. He's had 3 injuries this season. He took so many wicked shots in that Sunday night game. So, John, that's my out-of-town scoreboard. Pick and choose. You got some opinions here.
I want to ask you, like, in that Charger game, you know that one pass that Herbert had to Quentin Johnson in the right corner of the end zone? It was like a perfect pass. And I think that whoever the color commentator was commenting about that. But I was more blown away by the fact that Quentin Johnson caught it, and he's been so bumbling and fumbling. And I mean, so do you think he maybe has turned the corner?
We said that about 3 times in the last 2 years.
Yeah, we have.
And then he turns around and drops passes and suddenly he's not part of the game plan. And I don't know. I mean, the Chargers have all these gifts at the skill position. I mean, there's no doubt the tight ends. I mean, what Gadsden has become, I told you so, and the 3 wide receivers, so many gifts, but they can't protect the quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Justin Herbert nearly got beheaded in the first half with a wicked shot. And, I mean, he took 6 sacks yesterday. That's an injury that is waiting to happen.
Well, he was not just taking sacks, but he was running the ball and giving the forearm shivers to the linebackers, and then the Charger defenders are on the sidelines cheering him on.
Well, he is 6'6", 240. That's a big boy.
No, he's a dude. Yeah, he's a big guy, so a lot different frame than Jalen Daniels when he just torqued his arm. I mean, just a gruesome injury that was. A couple other comments, though. I mean, in that Raider game, Brock Bowers, man, that dude is something. I mean, he is a beast.
He's a tight end who can fly.
He really can. And I mean, he's a great pass catcher. So, the Raiders have something to build on there.
They have Ashton Genty, and they can't bleep and run the ball at all.
Yeah, well, yeah, their offensive line is a disaster too, like the Chargers. And the ending of that Bears-Bengals game, I mean, what a crazy game. And that ball that was thrown to Loveland, I mean, credit Caleb Williams for the big comeback, but there were 3 defenders around him, and he bounced off all 3 of them, ran into the end zone. And, the receivers for the Bengals, I mean, they were just coming unglued. Like, we can't make a stop in the 4th quarter. Come on, man.
Yeah, Cincinnati is just internally is just a disaster in terms of player personnel. So I don't know if somebody loses their job at the end here because the Bengals are so bad. And you wasted Flacco, 470 from a 40-year-old quarterback. That's amazing.
It is. I mean, it really, when he went to the Bengals, I thought, oh, he's just a placeholder guy. He's a hell of a lot more than a placeholder. I mean, that was something.
He has to do it because nobody else can do it.
Right.
Okay,
right.
That's all things NFL. You got an opinion? We'd like to hear it. Fans Forum chat box is open. Pick a team if you want. We go from that. Let's go to college football.
Chaos all over college football, starting with LSU.
Well, let's just talk about the fallout from the firing this past week of Brian Kelly. Everybody's got an opinion, and most of it now is not very positive about LSU's leadership, that former head coach, the amount of money, and the buyout. The Athletic did a big investigative report over the weekend that broke yesterday, in which players are quoting being critical of Brian Kelly. I'll just run through some of the hot quotes that I dug out for you. He acted like a CEO at 30,000 feet. He had no relationships with his players. It was like he checked out when he got his payday. That's how some of the players viewed Brian Kelly. He stopped recruiting. He didn't know some of the players' first names. He didn't show up for team meetings that he himself had called. He was disconnected with the past history of all things LSU. He cleaned the house of the staff that Ed Orgeron had left behind, and the man was not authentic. This is from players and staff members about Brian Kelly. Meanwhile, Auburn is the latest to fire another coach. That's 11 coaches in 9 weeks. Now, this is a weird one. Hugh Freeze should have probably never been hired to begin with. Why Auburn did this was a shocker. Hugh Freeze had been at Ole Miss. There was a lot of controversy, violations. He went to Liberty, Jerry Falwell's University in Virginia, 1AA, took it Division I, built it, got hired at Auburn. Last week, Hugh Freeze, in the midst of this losing streak, said, "I'd appreciate a vote of confidence." And then he went out and got beat again. So they fired him. He was 1-5 in the SEC, 5 horrible losses in about a year and a half. Clemson. I don't know if you've seen the sideline video of Dabo Swinney losing his mind with his players. It is so embarrassing. He's in a rage. They wound up losing, I don't know if it was 48-45, but he's in a rage. His defense was playing terrible. And the players are sitting on the bench, rolling their eyes as he's walking down in front of every defensive player, putting his finger in their face. I mean, he's lost the team. And his quarterbacking is terrible. He's lost the team. I wonder if he's going to be the next one to go. Southern Cal, big win, gritty win. Learned something about themselves. They won at Nebraska. They came from behind. Jaden Mayava had a really bad day throwing the football. I think he was 9 for 23. That's the worst day he's had in college football for only 135 yards, but they ran the ball. King Miller, third string running back, another big day, 129 yards on the ground. Trojans, 202 rushing. And they've not played well on the road in the Big Ten. They did punch Nebraska in the mouth. And the last one is Colorado. They got killed by the University of Arizona in Boulder at home. They are now 3-6. Arizona put 52 points on the board, over 400 yards against Coach Prime's defense. The quarterback play at Colorado, I've never seen this. He played 3 quarterbacks in the game. He kept taking them out, putting them in, taking them out. It was pathetic. Buffs turned the football over 5 times. Dion lost himself in the postgame press conference, locked the locker room, no media access to any player. Nobody's going to be allowed to talk to the players the rest of the season. He says, "I'm not giving up. You, the media, have given up. I'm not giving up." They've caved in. It's like he's overwhelmed by this. His son's not there. Travis Hunter's not there. It's not the same program. They're going in the opposite direction. John, they're 3-6 on the season. So, news and notes. You want to talk about Brian Jones? You want to talk about Hugh Freeze? Carry on.
Carry on. You know, it's interesting that you talk about Brian Kelly was like a CEO. Now, normally you want your college head coach to be the chief executive officer of that football program. And maybe to your point, he was more 30,000-foot view rather than kind of boots on the ground.
Exactly.
You know, so it was interesting. Is you ever watch that College Game Day, like, you know, in the morning before the 9 o'clock? And usually it's McAfee and Saban have this uncomfortable energy in that show. But Saban was talking a little bit about this sort of thing where the coaching part is sort of the quote easy part. The hard part is managing these young men and their lives and keep having the infrastructure to provide support for them outside of the locker room and all the things with family and all these other things, these distractions. You know, in order to be a CEO of a football program, you have to buy in to all that.
Be there.
You got to be there. Yeah. And so it's interesting how, you know, the responsibility of a head coach in college football is so different than in the NFL. So if everything they say is true about this guy, you know, the freaking good riddance, he's gone. The SC game against Nebraska, you were talking about that last week about, oh, you're looking forward to that. What the hell is up with those black and white uniforms that the Cornhuskers are wearing? That
blackout day.
Yeah, but it didn't look so non-Nebraska.
No, exactly.
You know, it just didn't fit.
And they lost their quarterback. Raiola suffered a fractured leg in the game, and that was the end of all things that Matt Rule could do.
Yeah.
But their defense played their ass off, and they they made the Trojans rethink who they are. And I mean, I was really stunned. Maeva had so much trouble moving the football with pressure and finding receivers, and all of a sudden they started to pound it. It looked like old-fashioned student body right.
Yeah. I mean, do you, like, in the best of days, okay, like you take an ultimate college football game and an ultimate pro game. For me, college football is a lot better. It's more entertaining than the NFL. I mean, what's your take on that?
Well, college football is, because they're young men and there's hoopla, and it's a much different environment in a college football stadium that's full.
Yeah.
The alumni and all that. But I mean, the pro game is great athletes and schemes and all that. I mean, the NFL, it is a different product you watch on Sunday than we experience on Saturday.
100% agree. Yeah, for all the right reasons. And then, by the way, Coach Prime, I mean, I hope he doesn't have a health setback and then kind of have to walk away from Colorado. I want him to be strong, because he brings, in my opinion, a very good message. And yeah, his son is gone. Travis Hunter is gone. Those were his, secret sauce. They're not there. He's going to have to build it. But even with 3 wins, that's better than pre-Coach Prime in Boulder, Colorado.
Well, they had 1 win
the
year before he got there, but this thing has regressed.
It has.
And they're not, for a team that has anybody they want in the player portal that wants to come play for Coach Prime. He's got 7 NFL guys on his staff with world of experience. For them to be this poor offensively and defensively, yikes.
Yeah, that's not a good look, but he'll figure it out. I'm confident he will.
Okay, you're a college football fan. You got an opinion on Brian Kelly and this disaster at LSU, or any of the other topics, feel free. Last college football talk, but before we get to halftime, at home, John?
The San Diego State Aztecs in first place in the Mountain West Conference.
What a show today. Sean Lewis put on such a show at his Monday press briefing. And he and I we exchange verbal gunfire, which is great. He answers my questions. But this is real good. They're 7-1. They're 4-0 in the conference. I don't want you to spill your coffee. San Diego State's in first place in the Mountain West. They're the only unbeaten team in the conference, the team that was 3-9 last year and caved in. And of course, what they've accomplished has been pretty impressive. I mean, them punching Fresno State in the mouth, that was pretty impressive. Defense this past weekend, 3 picks, fumble recovery, 3 more sacks, 8 tackles for losses. They allowed only 185 yards in that victory this past weekend. Lucky Sutton, tough guy running back, 183 on the ground, including a 50-yard TD dash. Jaden Denegal threw 2 picks, but did throw for $194. And now, next up, it's right in front of them. Everything is right there for them to take this. They go to Hawaii, then they get Boise State, and then they close out the season. It is conceivable these guys could be 11-1. Can you freaking believe that? So that's where they are as they get ready to go to Hawaii to meet a run-and-shoot, pass-happy Rainbow Warrior team led by a young quarterback, Micah Ahedo. It's going to be a hell of a game, late game on Saturday night. Only disappointment I have, you don't care. Fans, friends, alums, you don't care. Where the hell are you? They paper the house, they give away tickets. They had only 17,000 show up on homecoming. How can this be? Now, I admit I'm biased. I broadcast Aztec football in the Marshall Faulk era when they were pretty damn explosive and put all those kids in the NFL. They were drawing 48,000, 50,000, 17,000 at Snapdragon Stadium. To me, it's absolutely stunning. The Aztecs, though, are in first place, and they could run the table and host the Mountain West Conference Championship game here. I could have never, ever projected that. Meanwhile, Boise State is 4-1. Boise got punched in the mouth at home by Fresno, the same Fresno that San Diego State mauled the week before. Now, they lost their quarterback, Maddox Madsen, went down early with an ankle injury. real significant. Boise turned it over 5 times, but that did not look like the same Fresno State team that got mauled by the Aztecs the week prior. So Boise's got a problem. Hawaii is 3-2. Weird weekend. They went on the road and they got ambushed by San Jose State, which I couldn't believe. San Jose's quarterback, Walker Eget, threw for 458 against the Rainbow Warriors defense. Spartans had 630 yards in offense as they upset Hawaii. So Aztecs are going to go to Honolulu. They're going to meet a Hawaii team that's got its back to the wall because Hawaii's 3-2 in the conference. And Vegas falls apart and loses to New Mexico. I don't know what's happened to Vegas. I mean, they were 5-0 out of the gate. They're just 2-2 in the conference right now. That game had 1,006 combined yards in total offense. So, I mean, weird. This whole thing in the Mountain West is so weird. The really good teams suddenly have problems, and a 3-9 Aztec team is in first place, unbeaten in the conference, and the only ones that care about it are the families of the players and these two guys on the podcast. Where the hell are you, Aztec fans? John, go ahead and respond.
Just win, baby. And that's what Sean Lewis is probably thinking, man. Just take care of business, you know? So, but you said you got in a little bit of a scrum with him, okay?
Great.
And I could just picture it because that guy has got so much energy, you know, and he's probably extra fired up, man. I mean, I imagine he was probably bouncing off the walls in that press conference.
Yeah, I mean, he was bombing, right? It goes 100 miles an hour. And so I asked him about expectation because I used that phrase in the Monday press conference. It's right there in front of you. All these things can happen. And his response to me was, we're focused. We take care of our business inside this building. We're not paying any attention to any noise.
When he pointed at you.
He pointed at me. It's great. I love exchanging gunfire with him. But I mean, he gives you good quotes, and he's got deep, deep philosophy. You know, and it's really interesting. You just made a comment on the prior topic. We were talking about LSU, Brian Kelly, CEO, 30,000 feet above, no relationship. Mm-hmm. This guy's relationship with his players, he's down that hallway every minute of every day talking to everybody. All the players, et cetera, all the programs or academics. I mean,
they're probably tired of seeing him in the hallway.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about fingerprints, hands-on everywhere. I mean, his approach to football is so different than what we just talked about, the mess at LSU with Brian Kelly. So it's cool, but it is right there in front of them. He didn't want to talk about unbeaten in the conference. He didn't want to address Mountain West Championship home game. He did not want to bring up the fact that they're only 29th in the AP poll, because I maintain you got to beat more named people to get more votes to maybe be inside the top 25. And he didn't want to address the potential of maybe being right on the periphery of being a playoff team, because they got to take somebody from the group of 5. I don't think San Diego State at this point is still viewed as the upper echelon of the group of 5. Here's a theory, though, I would like to post up here on the bulletin board. So Aztec fans, you can join us. Holiday Bowl is really struggling financially.
Yeah.
Identity-wise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the stupidity of the statement that the Saudis came here and said, come visit us, and we'll talk about a $4 million one-time payoff. Move your bowl game in January to Saudi Arabia. How about they evaluate this year, because everything's changed in college football. If San Diego State turns out to be what San Diego State could be, if these dudes run the table, how about the Holiday Bowl, hometown bowl game, have the hometown team play in it, and then play somebody from the ACC or the Big 12 as the opponent, and let the Aztecs play here, fill the stadium as a reward. Because going to the Idaho Potato Bowl or the Poulon Weed Eater Bowl, but here, hometown. So maybe the Holiday Bowl should rethink their alignment. You can go find somebody. I don't know if you want Belichick and his girlfriend in North Carolina out here. That'd be kind of cool.
Hot pants.
Yeah, but How about the Aztecs playing the Holiday Bowl? If they wind up in the Mountain West Conference Championship game, they legitimately have a chance to run the table and win this whole bloody thing. Can you imagine being 11-1? Why not have them here play somebody from the ACC?
That's just such a second-class, line. I want to be talking about the Aztecs making the playoff. That's where we should have the focus.
That's a long shot.
Well, it is a long shot, but I mean, like you said, it's right in front of them. Okay. And by the way, you were always saying, oh, who have they played? And you're always kind of never giving them any respect, any due respect that they
didn't play anybody until they played Fresno, and then Fresno changed quarterbacks.
Well, because of that Aztec defense was kicking ass. I mean, that's a really, really good team. So I don't know. I just think, like, to your point, it's right in front of them. Okay. You can't count your chickens, but if they beat Hawaii and then they get Boise, and then if they can win the Mountain West Conference Championship game, a couple other things got to go their way. Like James Madison's got to go sideways. There's got to be something else like in the American Conference or whatever, but there's a chance they could get there. Could you imagine that? And by the way, I want the Aztecs, I want that Holiday Bowl to be like a quarterfinal in the round of 16 or however they structure it.
That's not going to happen this year.
But you got to think, is the Holiday Bowl, does it exist for the benefit of the San Diego Chamber of Commerce? Or does it exist as a reward for our hometown team? I mean, if you really want to fill that place up, you should have like Alabama and Oregon in the first round, of the playoffs. That place will sell out. Sure. And that'll be good for the Chamber of Commerce. And you don't need to kind of take care of your little boy in town. I just want the Aztecs to compete, be the best they can be on the big stage, and find a way to be the one group of 5 team to get into that expanded playoff.
Sean Lewis is not going to listen to this podcast because no noise from the outside.
Well, yeah. Well, he shouldn't listen to noise, but we can talk about it all we want, and yeah, all those other teams. Yeah. UNLV, we thought was like kind of figured it out. And all of a sudden they went sideways. Hawaii lost in San Jose State, but Hawaii's still a tough one on the road. And that's what we're going to get next weekend, right, Lee?
Do not miss it's a late game on the island, because that's going to be a great defense that's nationally ranked against a passing offense that's averaging 405 yards per game, and they just throw it and throw it and throw it. So this will be good. All things college football, feel free, jump on board. The Mountain West Conference page is open. I want you to join us on Fans Forum. I drank too much coffee this morning. I am so freaking amped. It's unbelievable.
Do they serve food at the Aztec press conference?
I don't pay attention to that. I go for the quotes and I write about it. And
yeah, you don't want any noise either.
I will. By the way, one man's opinion, my column tomorrow on my website. Kiss my Aztec fans. It'll be on San Diego State football. So make sure you check out my column, because I write a lot about them on that website all the time. If you haven't checked the website, you're missing an awful lot. And I don't want you walking around the streets of San Diego County uninformed. Okay, we are at halftime. This podcast brought to you by DIXIELINE Lumber and Home Centers, 9 locations to serve you in San Diego. Most unique thing about DIXIELINE, it's more than just a lumber company. What they offer the homeowners in San Diego, from doors and windows to what they can do for you, renovating kitchens, bathrooms, closets, etc. It's absolutely stunning. John, take the ball and run with it.
Take the ball, run with it. Let's just talk about lumber. I mean, that's like infrastructure, man. This is the big boy stuff right here, the lumber. And this is what we're using to build housing all throughout San Diego County. If you drive around town and you see construction projects off the side of the freeway,
that lumber comes from DIXIELINE.
A lot of it does. You'd be surprised. And I think a lot of homeowners in town, they think of them as a local hardware store. And they are that. They sell power tools and nuts and bolts and hammers and chisels and anything you need. But they really, half their business is selling to the trade. Half their business is selling to professional builders and contractors, and they love DIXIELINE because the quality of the lumber there is top notch compared to competitors. And you can drive your truck in; you roll into their lumber yard, and you got the big burly dudes there. They'll load up your truck for you, make your life easy, and boom, you're out the door and on your way to your next job site. So yeah, DIXIELINE Lumber, 100 years in San Diego County.
Just go to DIXIELINE.com. You'll see all the things they have to offer. Couple of program notes. When we're done with topics on the table, because we do sports talk the way it should be done, We give you the information and we have opinions, but we open it up to you. Fans Forum chat box will be open for business right at the end of this podcast. And John, for all the new people who have never participated, how do they get on?
Oh my God, the Dodger smack talking is going crazy. There are people fighting amongst each other in the chat right now. So, hey, if you got a question or comment for either of us, drop your take in the live chat on X, on YouTube, on Facebook. We'll get you involved. I mean, I'd name names. There's just so many names in the list today, Lee.
A lot of first-timers, a lot of Rookie of the Year candidates. You're invited. And again, you can pick the topic that you want to talk about. Fans Forum chat box coming up. Reminder, if you've never checked my website, dummy, what's wrong with you? I write a lot of sports every day. It's their first thing every morning. If you go to the website, LeeHacksawHamilton.com, check it out. You'll be absolutely amazed. Join Hacksaw's Insiders Group. You can do that by registering right on my website. That will guarantee you'll get 2 emails a day with inside information from John and I. Have to be part of the Insiders Group to get that. Want you to subscribe. When you subscribe, that means you'll get the alerts every time we post new videos up on the YouTube channel. In addition to the podcast, we do 5 to 7 to 10 different videos that are available during the course of the week. You'll get the alerts every time those things are posted. Want you to join me on social media. Just go to X, write in my name, Lee Hacksaw Hamilton, hit the follow button. Then you can take part in Hacksaw's mini polls. I get a lot of response. Not everybody agrees with the questions I pose, but a lot of response on the mini polls. And of course, we're in the air. We are everywhere with this podcast and what we're doing on all the different social media platforms. Side statement here before we go to the second half. So you're talking about gunfire, me, Sean Lewis. So he went off on this tangent today. I don't know where this came from. I didn't quite understand it because I was never big in geology, but you're the smartest guy in the room. So he's talking about walking through caves. And what are the ice formations?
Stalagmites and stalactites.
Okay. So anyhow, he got off on this tangent about walking in caves and that. And I had a tough time trying to follow how that equated to football and the Aztecs playing at Hawaii. So he gave the media, there was about 7 of us there, he gave us a sales pitch on that. And he looked at me. I said, well, that's a better conversation than Rocky Long once upon a time lecturing us on how to cook spinach, which happened at one of his Monday press conferences. So he laughed at that too. So I mean, his press conferences are really fun, and they're winning. And does anybody care about that aside from me and him and the families of the football players? Jump on board. Okay, John, let's move to the second half because then we're going to get the Fans Forum.
The L.A. Lakers, Luka and Reeves. Who else?
Yeah, that's a big question. I mean, the Lakers are playing. The Lakers are doing it without LeBron. They've had a couple nagging injuries along the way. Luka Doncic's getting tons of minutes. And within the last week and a half, Luka has scored 43, 49, and 44. And he had a lousy night last night shooting, but he's been almost unstoppable. Austin Reeves has 2 games of 41 and 51. When he's hot, he's hot. DeAndre Ayton, ailing back spasms already out of the lineup. He's been kind of hit and miss. Hachimura's had 1 good game. I see nothing on the bench. Nothing that I believe is, these guys can't put up these kind of numbers for 80-plus games. And LeBron, now they're talking after Thanksgiving. This process from the sciatica, this takes a long time to come back from. So that's where we are, all things Lakers at this hour, and it's early in the season.
You see Bronny James up there doing the Phi Slamma Jamma with Austin Reeves?
That came after the 1 for 10 shooting performance night? Yes.
Yeah, I honestly, I haven't really kind of sunk my teeth into the NBA yet. I mean, because we're just kind of getting out of baseball, but I've been seeing the highlights and the Lakers obviously off to a pretty good start. A lot to like there. I'm just think of like old man LeBron, with the sciatica, he's going to need a cane to get around at some point. I mean, but have you seen Victor Wembanyama this year?
Oh.
I mean, he is just insane.
He's chiseled, and I mean, I think they're 5-0 or 6-0 out of the gate.
Yes, yeah. I mean, that looks dangerous there in San Antonio. And then the Clippers are just a disgrace. I mean, some of the numbers that you shared where they've just been blown out by big numbers.
Yeah, they look old and they look disjointed. Kawhi Leonard is playing very well. And it's the first year in probably 4 years that it looks like he's totally healthy. And he's not really on a minutes limit. I mean, he played the other night, played 34 minutes, had 34 points. But boy, Chris Paul's not playing well. Harden is kind of streaky along the way. So they don't look like a complete team. And it's also the other factor in the equation, John. It's a really old basketball team. Average age is 33 and a half.
Yeah. I mean, for basketball, that is pretty old.
Yes.
I mean, you got to be, you remember the movie Airplane when that kid was in the cockpit with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and he says, yeah, my dad doesn't think you play defense. He goes, yeah, you try running up and down the court, with Bill Laimbeer and all these other guys. He was naming names. But the point is that that's a young man's game.
Yes.
I mean, to be going back and forth up and down that court.
You look at how Oklahoma City plays. You say, how the hell are the Lakers going to keep up with them? And by the way, how the Clippers even going to be in the arena with them?
Oh, yeah. There's no way. I mean, they're going to be, unless they just slow the pace down.
Yeah. So we got a long way to go before we start dealing with NBA. You got a comment on the Lakers? Lakers line is always open. Final topic on the table because we got a clear room here for fans forum. Go ahead.
Yeah. And the sports fire. San Diego FC. Wow.
Tough. They blew a game they should have won in Portland. What did I say last week? Don't let these guys back in this playoff series. Now they have.
Yeah, they have.
And Portland's played a lot better. Anyhow, they had a 2-1 lead, and they let Portland score the tying goal at the 98-minute mark. They were in injury time, 98 minutes in, and Portland tied it. And in the playoffs, game ends in a tie. They go to penalty kicks immediately. They don't play an extra period. They went to penalty kicks, and they missed. SDFC missed 3 penalty kicks, open net.
Yeah,
over the crossbar, hit the crossbar. They missed 3 of them. You never ever see that in penalty kicks in a shootout.
Total whiff. And
they lose the game despite having a 70% to 30% possession advantage. They lost the game. In Portland. And CJ Dos Santos got hurt. It was an accidental diving for a ball on a scramble on the side of the box, and he got clipped by another player's shoe, and he wound up with a concussion. So they come home. Now they're going to have all this week for Dos Santos to get healthy. They come home for game 3, winner take all. And then if they win this one Sunday against Portland, it'll take them to the 1-game shootouts against in the second round, etc. So tough game. They let Portland back in the series. That's tough. Horse racing, Breeders' Cup, historical race, had the potential to be phenomenal, and the top horse got sidelined. Sovereignty was scratched because of a fever that appeared twice during the course of the week. Kentucky Derby winner who had won 3 different races this year did not run. And out of nowhere, the Japanese import Forever Young came from inside out of the 4th turn and ran away from the field and won it. It was a real stunner outrunning the pack. Sierra Leone, the 4-year-old horse, tried to chase Forever Young down. If that race had gone another 15 yards, Sierra Leone might have caught Forever Young, but didn't. Won it by a nose. And Fierceness, which was the speed horse, Fierceness had run the Pacific Classic out here at Del Mar in the summer, had a bad start. Inside post position number 1, slow out of the gate, never was able to make up. Fierceness finished 3rd. And the shocker to me was Journalism, which had really run well the back half of the schedule. Journalism was never in the race, finished a distant 4th. So tough with Sovereignty not there, because that would have been a historic field of accomplishment. The racing resumes would have been amazing, but Forever Young earned it, made the move out of the 4th turn and ran away from the field. Last topic on the table. I don't know if there's any rednecks out there. NASCAR, the Phoenix 500, the championship race. They call it the Final Four, $5 million prize. Denny Hamlin, great veteran driver, started on the pole. Denny Hamlin led for 311 laps. They made pit stops to all take on tires with 33 laps to go, and Hamlin looked like he was going to run away from it. William Byron caught him. They were running 3 wide in Phoenix. They were swapping paint, banging. You could see the sparks. And Byron got the lead, and Byron blew a tire, hit the wall while in the lead. So the caution comes out again. Everybody has used their tire, so they pitted. Hamlin took a gamble. He was about to take the lead again. Hamlin had the lead when Byron hit the wall. Hamlin pitted, took on 4 tires, which sounds great, except that makes it a longer pit stop. He got behind people. By the time he came out of the pits, he had gone from first, fresh rubber, he was 10th. He could not make up the difference. Kyle Larson, who started in front of him on the final restart and the final 2 laps of overtime, Larson winds up winning. And Larson's a great driver. Hamlin's been a great campaigner for more than a decade. He sat in his car for 20 minutes on pit row and just could not get out. He was so emotionally distraught at having it right there in front of him. And Byron hits the wall, and suddenly everybody has to pit, and everybody's getting tires. So Hamlin had to go get tires, but he could have taken on 2 like everybody else. He took on 4, and just a longer pit stop put him further back in the traffic by the time he got back on the track. But if you're a good old boy, rednecks, you're invited. It was a hell of a finish to the race, hell of a championship. John, you got comments on corner kicks and penalty kicks, horse racing, and NASCAR?
Yeah, it was a tough loss for San Diego FC. And it was on at the same time as Game 7 of the World Series. And I'll be watching the World Series. I'm like, oh, what's going on in San Diego FC? And I go peek over there. And
in my house, it's called split screen.
Yeah, well, yeah. But, I like to have the full screen there. But I was going back and forth, and I saw the penalty kicks. Well, first of all, I saw that they had the lead 2-1 late. And then in extra time, they scored. Portland scored to tie it. And yeah, 2 of those penalty kicks, they went over the crossbar. I mean, they were totally non-competitive kicks. And
They're trying to chip it in high.
What are you doing? And the season's on the line here. I mean,
and your backup keeper could not stop Portland on their penalty kicks.
So he stopped a couple of them, and he did a good job. It was just our guys just whiffed, and it was awful. So I guess it's going to come back, to San Diego, and hopefully they can close it out in 3. But I have a question for you about the horse racing. It's kind of more broad than just Breeders' Cup. But you had mentioned one of those horses, I think, was it Forever Young, was 4 years old? I mean,
no, that was Sierra Leone was 4.
Sierra Leone was 4 years old. Okay. Well, what is the longevity of the life of a horse? And then are there prime racing years like ages 3 and 4?
That's where the money's made. That's where the reputation comes for breeding. Exactly. There have been some horses. I'm just trying to recall. Does the name Cigar?
Oh yeah,
that was a great horse. That horse raced, I think, until he was 6, but then they put him out to stud. But the whole thing is groom him at 2, Triple Crown at 3, maybe you run at 4. But if you build the breed because you won all these Triple Crown races, you put him in the stud because that's where the money is.
That's where the money is. Yeah, good for you. That's a nice way to go out, by the way. But how long do horses live? I mean, they live
10, 12, 14 years if they have no sickness or injury. But when they're put out to stud, they live a life of leisure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And then by the way, the whole NASCAR thing, the way you were explaining it, first of all, 380 laps in the lease. That must have been a kind of a small track, right?
Yes.
And then it is kind of interesting, the calculation that they go through right there at the end of the race. Do you do a pit? Do you not do a pit? How much advantage does it give you? I mean, it's a gut feel thing, and you got to have everything go right. I mean, it seemed like a pretty big gamble to make.
Well, to me, it was too. I mean, Hamlin was running up front. Most everybody's taken on 2 tires, which means that's a lickety-split pick stop. But if you're going to have 4 tires, that means your crew's putting 2 here, running around, putting 2 there. It's a longer stop. And by the time he came out with the traffic, he was in 10th place. And when they get ready for they call it overtime, that's a 2-lap sprint. So everybody gets back on the track, but he's in 10th spot. And he had to try to catch Kyle Larson, who was a row in front of him. Those guys did not win the race. But if where they finished, decided who's going to win the $5 million for the championship. prize.
Mm-hmm.
So tough.
Those pit guys are incredible.
Oh,
I mean, the way they move in and out. And by the way, the F1 pit seems like they're even faster.
Yeah, like 1.2 seconds in and out.
I don't know how they do that.
Yeah. As long as you don't have to make adjustments to the wings or change that. But that's boom, 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 gone.
Yeah. It's like that lug nut doesn't turn much. It's like maybe 90-degree turn and it's locked in.
It's interesting. So listen, you're a horse racing fan, soccer fan, NASCAR fan, feel free to join us. Fans Forum chat box is open. Now it's your turn. We just did a hell of a podcast with a lot of opinions and a lot of content. It's your turn. Show us your best stuff. It's called Fans Forum. It's open. This podcast brought to you by DIXIELINE Lumber and Home Centers, 9 locations to serve you in San Diego. Who wants to talk World Series? Who wants to talk NFL football? We got a lot of college football to talk about. NBA topics on the table. John, it belongs to you.
Well, let's take it to our friend Casey. He says, "Good afternoon, guys, and one of the best Game 7 World Series watched, and even better with my Dodgers winning the title."
Oh, you're allowed to wave the pennant. You're allowed to wear Dodger gear. I assume you'll show up one of these days and you'll show us your World Series ring. Hey, they got it. You know, I want to say something that's probably going to bother some people like that. That hasn't never happened before.
No.
I feel sorry for Padre fan because Padre fan has been so excited and has been so supportive of all things Padre baseball. And now we've gotten to this offseason, and that team up north, the Dragon, has just won it for the second time in a row with a monster payroll and already dropping hints for going back into free agency to add more. And this franchise here is losing its pitching staff by age and injury, does not have a manager yet, which kind of surprises me. And it's not what I'd call a rich year of free agents. How are the Padres going to be the Padres next season? Because I don't think it's going to be the same team. I hate to say that this run apparently is over, but I kept telling you the Padres had a window that was closing. And to me, John Riley, it looks like this window is now really closed with what the Dodgers accomplished and what the Padres didn't get done, got away from them, and now all their pitching is pretty much gone.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough road for the Padres, but let's talk about the Dodgers. I mean, they're very deserving. I mean, they won the World Series 2 years in a row. How about that Andy Pages catch?
Yep.
That was amazing.
Now, I'll say this. Kiki Hernandez does miraculous things.
Mm-hmm.
And as he was running, I mean, he was positioned in shorter left field because he wanted to make sure if it was a base hit, the guy was not going to score from second base.
Mm-hmm. But
he covered a lot of distance, and he is such a gifted guy that I could see him doing this.
Yeah, he was positioned.
And then Pages went right over the top and caught him and nearly killed him. But Pages is a big physical specimen, and Pages runs like a deer. I mean, he has got big strides. He made up a lot of ground to get from center to where he did to make that catch in left field. I mean, he nearly decapitated Kiki Hernandez, but what a great series. I mean, backs to the wall. How many times? How many big plays?
More than we can count.
You know, and we talked about home runs and Yamamoto and the pitching and all that. Lost in all the conversation about Dodger baseball is how many double plays they turned. I mean, they suffocated.
Well, that's how they ended the Game 7, ended on a double play.
Yeah, and they suffocated the Blue Jays rallies by continuing to make double plays too. So I thought it was not just as Casey would say, not just a Game 7 never to forget. I thought the whole series was phenomenal.
Yeah, it makes you kind of compare. You were saying it was maybe the greatest World Series of all time. I mean, it had a lot in it. I mean, even like the Dodgers, Astros, set the trash can aside. That was a pretty crazy World Series. I still have in my mind, the big red machine against the Boston Red Sox in 75, because I was only 10 years old, and that was a big moment for me personally. But yeah, it was a hell of a game, and it had almost everything. And then, it's when we went into the ninth inning, I saw there was going to be 8, 9, and 1, and they were down 1, the Dodgers. And I thought, okay, Ohtani's going to come up. Who would have thought friggin' Rojas was going to hit a home run? I mean, when he connected on that ball, I went, oh my God, I can't, this doesn't make any sense to me.
That guy doing this?
Yes. And then Will Smith, Mr. Clean, the tidy bowl man, gets up there and knocks one out. Yeah. Sid from Toy Story. That was a clutch home run too.
Yep.
I mean, everything just went just right for them.
They earned it.
They did. Hey, by the way, I saw an X post earlier from your old colleague, Scott Kaplan, because he's up there with ESPN LA and everything. He's up there for the parade.
Right.
And so he's all fired up for that, but he was commenting on Twitter. He goes, I don't know. Will San Diego fans ever get a parade? Probably never.
Somebody tell Kaplan, take those LA shades off and quit wearing LA gear, front runner.
Yeah.
If you want to be in San Diego, be in San Diego. But
no, that's where he's making money up in LA, so he's going with the flow.
Everybody's got to do it differently. I mean, I did wear Dodger gear, which ignited a lot of response. Casey, thanks for being with us. Move on.
Okay, moving on. Let's go to Lil C. White. He goes, hey, Dan Quinn took responsibility for Jaden's injury, and I don't understand why you don't take your franchise quarterback out with 7 minutes to go and protect your guy. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, he was running for his life the whole game. Washington, their season this year is as disappointing as last year's was outstanding. Their secondary is terrible. They got lit up. What Sam Darnold did in the first half of that game was just amazing. He was 16 for 16 for 282 and 4 touchdown passes. They've had a lot of injuries in Washington. But at the end of the day, Jaden Daniels was getting chased all over the place and was getting rocked and obviously got cleaned out on this terrible, terrible hit. But it's just not Dan Quinn's team is just not the same team right now. Play football, you're going to get hurt. But at the end of the day, in a blowout like that, maybe he should not have been playing because he was getting hammered throughout the course of the game.
Joe Theismann, Alex Smith, and now Jaden Daniels.
Curse of the Washington quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, his arm, the way that thing bent, arms don't bend that way. No. That was tough, man.
Total dislocation.
And it makes you wonder, why was he in the game? I mean, Seattle looked really good last night.
Yep.
And then it just goes to show you, with Darnold, I mean, that guy was a quality quarterback. He just never was in a good situation. And now he is, and he's hitting everything.
Well, what happened last year with Darnold, Minnesota, obviously is not a fluke because he's duplicating it again with Mike McDonald, the Seahawks coach, who's got an offensive reputation.
Yeah. So that's a dangerous team going into the playoffs potentially.
Okay, that's the update on Washington. That's terrible for Jaden Daniels. It really is. Okay, John.
Okay, here's just a shout out from a new name from Tri Fritz. That was the most incredible baseball game I have ever seen.
It was a pretty electric World Series, and lost in all the conversation now because we're spending all our time talking about Game 7. You do remember 18 innings on Monday night, right? Holy cow. That was so cool.
I mean, I honestly didn't think the Dodgers were going to be able to pull off two in the row on the road.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I going into that madhouse up in Toronto.
Cauldron of crazy people.
Cauldron of crazy. By the way, I don't know if you saw him, but one of my favorite rock bands is Rush. And Geddy Lee, who's one of the players in Rush, is a huge Toronto Blue Jays fan. And he was often visible right behind home plate. So kind of got my little rock and roll moment out of that too.
Heartbroken for the Jays. I mean, and they had guys on base every night.
They did. And then just so many unlikely heroes. I mean, that Clement kid set the record for most hits in the postseason. Dude bats 8th.
Yeah.
And the way he bats, he's hunched over. He looks like, the right fielder from your little league team. And dude was like making clutch hits.
Yeah. And their pitching was pretty good. I didn't think that their relievers are going to hold up to the workload. Those guys made 24 combined appearances in the World Series.
Do you like seeing them bring out you Savage? And do you like the Dodgers bringing in all their starters there in Game 7?
All hands on deck.
Yeah, you're not going to put the game into Blake Trinan's hands. That's for sure.
No, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of guys that the Dodgers did not call on at the end.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but Yamamoto, you guys got to give it up. I mean, that dude is there a better pitcher in baseball right now than him?
They used all 4 of their starting pitchers in Game 7.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the gold standard pitching staff, and they ain't till tomorrow.
Yeah.
And no Roki Sasaki either, by the way.
No Sasaki. They did use Snell, and Snell looked pretty decent. and Yamamoto pitching on 17 hours rest after going 6 innings the night before. Wow.
He wants it.
And he went 3.
And
went 3 frames.
And he offered to go in the 19th inning, didn't he?
Yes.
On that other game. So, it's just by the way, Freddie Freeman. Oh, Freddie, I was going to say we haven't talked much about him, but he won that 18-inning game.
Yes, with the home run.
And so every one of these guys have had their moments.
Mm-hmm.
Kike Hernandez has had a really good World Series.
Good. Home run and inning-ending double play.
And then Max Muncy with that clutch bomb. What was that, in the 7th or 8th inning?
He started the comeback.
Yeah, I mean, and then Mookie with the double play to end the thing. Rojas, out of nowhere playing second base and getting stuff done. Will Smith puts the team up. Hayes with the catch, circus catch center field.
Collective victory.
It really was. I mean, it's a hell of a team.
You're not going to wear Dodger blue again, are you?
Yeah, I'm wearing a black sweatshirt because I'm in mourning. Okay, let's keep on going. We'll go to our friend Gordon. He goes, "Hey, Lee and John, lots of Dodger fans in southern New Mexico. Hats off to the Blue Jays. They are a team of the future, but right now it's the Dodgers' time."
Yeah, and we've gone from the World Series. Take a deep breath. Here comes free agency, and I'll tell you, the Dodgers are dropping hints everywhere. They're going to be active in free agency, and they're probably going to move some guys out of the bullpen. And they're going to go get a different left fielder because they're not going to bring Conforto back. So they're going to be in free agency. And, of course, John and I put that free agent board up there with the hot names. So they're going to be active. But just what a collective team. And what a job done by Dave Roberts.
Well, this is a nice segue here. Go to Showtime LA. What a 2-year run for the LA Dodgers. Up next, Kyle Tucker and relievers.
I agree with you, Showtime. And, hey, give it to them. And Dodgers equal dynasty. That was what one of my columns was. That actually was my column today on the website. But think about the excellence. They've won 11 division titles in 12 years in the National League West. Think about that dominance. Now you can bark and say, well, that's because they have more money than God and they're spending it, investing it. The other interesting thing that popped into my mind today, and we've talked about them buying free agents. We've talked about the bad stretch of injuries. We've talked about them developing players. They don't draft at the top of the first round. They're always drafting 28th, 30th.
Mm-hmm.
And they continue to develop quality players, drafting that late in every round in the draft.
Yeah, but they're the players that they've drafted, there aren't that many. You talk about the gold standard pitching staff. None of those guys were developed by the Dodgers.
They bought that.
But if you go around the diamond, okay, Will Smith, I think they drafted.
Mm-hmm.
Freeman, they bought. Rojas, journeyman. Mookie, they traded for. Muncy came from the A's. Kike was one of their drafted guys, although Conforto certainly wasn't. Hayes came up. Okay, I'll give him credit there. Teoscar was a free agent. So I don't know. I mean, Emmett Sheehan's legit. They've got some legit dudes that they've drafted, but let's be real. I mean, they spend the money, but they spend it better. I mean, back when they signed Kevin Brown to the $100 million deal, when they traded for Darryl Strawberry in the early 90s, they still stunk. So they're doing it right now. I mean, you got to tip a hat to Freeman.
You like checkbook baseball now? You've changed.
No. I've never. How should I say this? I just call it what it is. They're spending money. I don't have an objection to them spending money.
Well, you're a capitalist. I understand.
Yeah. So they've been able to creatively generate a lot more revenue to other teams, and fine. Just spend the money, but you still have to spend it on the right players, and then it provides I know it's kind of like when the Yankees were the evil empire in the 70s. They were a foil, like Darth Vader. You all wanted to rally up to try to overcome them. And so I like that by having them as the dragon to the north. But, give them their due. They won it. They deserve it. They earned it. But the Padres have got to win it one of these years. I mean, come on.
Is the Padres era over that never started?
They've had a nice run right now, and they're going to reload. If they keep Preller around, he will find more players. He always has done it.
Okay, we move on. Thanks for being with us.
Okay, let's go to Callan here. So talk some Ducks. Afternoon, gents. How about this start for the Anaheim Ducks? I know it's only 10 plus games, but hard not to be excited right now.
7-3. I mean, and the kids are scoring. Cutter Gauthier's got 7 goals already. The teenager that I thought might wind up here with the San Diego Gulls or would have to be sent back to the Ontario Hockey League, Beckett Seneke, he's got 4 goals already this season. It's odd. McTavish has not scored a great deal early on. Troy Terry's got a few goals. They look like a complete team, but it's early. Let's be honest there. But so far, so good as to what the Ducks have accomplished. To me, a little bit surprised crosstown. The LA Kings have had a slow start. They got guys that are not scoring goals. Quentin Byfield had a really good season last year, is finally arriving as a young player. He's not scoring at all. Fiala is scoring. Danault has not scored for the Kings at all. So the Kings, to me, is a little bit of a surprise. The goals have been so hard for them to come by, but so far, so good. I think the Ducks are 7-3. Montreal is maybe the biggest surprise in the league. I think Montreal is now 9-3, which is that's really stunning. Edmonton's had a very, very slow start, but 'tis a long season. But no, from Leo Carlsson to Cutter Gauthier, wow, what a start for the Ducks.
Yeah, it's awesome for them. You know, I just had a tangent on all of this, is that since I've been doing this podcast with you, it's been like, 3 years. It's been a lot of fun. It's a great run. But what's cool is that we get to know a lot of the fans here.
Sure.
You know, and a lot of these guys like Callan and Angel and Casey, I follow them, you know, in social media and kind of see what they're all about. And Callan is an aspiring sports broadcaster. You know, I think he does the either the play-by-play or the PA announcing for the Gulls. You know, he's does a lot of work at USD for volleyball and basketball, I think. So he's like a young hacksaw back in the day, you know? And so it's kind of neat seeing these guys, you know, kind of doing their thing, because they're all like sports freaks, just like you and me.
That's cool.
It is cool.
You think he'll like it working in Pocatello, Idaho? Because we all have to start somewhere.
Yeah, you do. I mean, you got to work your way up from the minor leagues.
Okay, thanks, Callan.
Okay, let's go here to Emmanuel. Lee, did you get a chance to see the Dodgers parade in Los Angeles? It's fun and wonderful. P.S. Ohtani wants his 3rd ring for next year.
Yeah, I would imagine it was electric. I was at an Aztec press conference and fighting all the traffic to get here on time to start the podcast. But they did the parade and then the festivities at Dodger Stadium. They're 2 separate entity festivals there. So that was pretty cool. But give it up for them. I mean, they earned it to climb out of the hole and earn it the way they did. They did it last year by what they did to the Padres. They did this year by coming from behind in the most hostile environment you could have and beating the Blue Jays up in Toronto. I mean, it's just fabulous. I felt so good for Kershaw. I mean, he's been such a warrior.
What a way to go out.
Yeah, and he was more observer than he was participant this point in time. But that's kind of cool, because that was not only a great pitcher, I think he's a great person.
Yeah. He's a terrific guy. How many Cy Youngs does he have? Like 3, maybe?
Yeah.
And he had maybe 1 MVP.
And he's got all these rings now on top of it.
Oh, yeah. A fabulous career. That's a first ballot guy for sure.
Yep.
You know what's interesting, you talk about the parade, is that after the game, whenever, and this happens in any sport, whenever a team wins a championship, the next 24 hours, you know, it's pretty sketchy news coverage in town with people partying on the streets. And, you know, I saw like an LA coverage of these cars doing donuts in the middle of the road and everyone's out there cheering them on. And I remember I had that experience when the 49ers won the Super Bowl in 1982. And I was in high school. And I just remember everybody came out, you know, and just flooded the streets. And it was like a Friday night cruising down the El Camino Real, and people were out there and high-fiving. It was a celebration for the community. So I'm sure Dodger fans were probably just loving that, like the right after the game, and then certainly going into the parade.
Yeah. It was really weird to have the post-game ceremony and the awarding of the MVP and obviously the piece of hardware on the infield at Toronto. And I felt they really missed an opportunity to thank the Jays, because what the Blue Jays accomplished in that run on that season to get to the World Series galvanized the Dominion. The Dominion is the whole country of Canada from Newfoundland to British Columbia, etc. And they didn't. I wish that Rob Manfred, in the excitement of getting ready to make the presentation to the Dodgers, would have taken time to thank the Jays for what they did to bring Canada together. I mean, that was a missed opportunity. But what they did to galvanize everybody across all those provinces, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And plus there's like a new Canada-US rivalry these days, kind of on different dimensions, if you will. So, yeah, I mean, that's what made it kind of a neat World Series. And then I always like the idea of, Dave Roberts going through customs and them giving him the business at TSA, won't let him get through or do I need to check his passport? Because I'm sure some of that happened. But it is always weird to win a championship on the road. I mean, if you're a Blue Jays fan, just to see that happen in your house, that's a punch in the
break
nose.
Your heart. I agree. But hey, hats to the Jays. What an unbelievable team and season they had. And what it really means, I mean, people will never forget this. I mean, there are baseball fans still. I've got Canadian friends everywhere and that say, I mean, they remember, I guess it was the 94 season, a strike that interrupted that season. Montreal Expos were the best team in baseball, and that strike occurred. Felipe Alou, I think, was a manager.
Yeah.
And to this day, they all reflect back to the Expos of that great team, the Gary Carters and the Steve Rogers and all that. So this is what Toronto just did what an accomplishment.
Yeah, that was the year that Gwynn hit 394.
Was it?
Yeah, and then the season got canceled. But you're right, the Expos, there was one other year, if I remember correctly, that there was a strike in the middle of the year, and they ended up having a first-half champion and a second-half champion. Was that 81? Was that like the Fernando Mania years? It might have been. But I remember Montreal, had the best record overall for the season, but didn't win the first or the second half and failed to make the playoffs.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, let's go here to Greg. They say, do you think Dave Roberts is now a lock for the Hall of Fame? I think he gets in.
Oh, I think so too. But how many rings has he got as a player? How many rings has he got now as a manager in Los Angeles? Yes, for certain. And think about that. 2 ex-Padres likely to be in the Hall of Fame for accomplishments as managers somewhere else. Bochy and Dave Roberts.
Yeah. But Roberts in 2004 when he stole that base in the 9th inning against the Yankees, he will be remembered in Major League Baseball history just for that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been to the Hall of Fame. I can't recall if there was like a display commemorating that event, but he deserves to be in the Hall. Well, not the plaque on the wall hall for that, but he's in history there. But yeah, as a manager, how can you say no? And it's just so weird considering how Dodger fan wanted him fired. He makes bad pitching changes. He doesn't manage his bullpen correctly. And now everyone's loving him and says he's a Hall of Famer.
Concur.
It's weird. Okay, let's go. This is an interesting question here. This is from Richard. Fans Forum. Our friend Ben Higgins claims that the LA going back-to-back will cause a lockout in 2027. He went on to say that the new CBA must have guardrails to keep LA in check. Clown or hater? 3-peat.
End of the day, why would you cancel the baseball season in 2027 when you had all-time record attendance, record revenue, and record TV ratings? Now, are there problems? Yes. Is there disparity? There sure is. This has to be solved by ownership and the union. And the way to do it is to do what each of the other professional leagues have. I don't know that we need a salary cap. We have a luxury tax that is, to a degree, a cap. What we need is the floor to spending. And when you mandate everybody spends to a floor, that means that we can't have Miami living there off revenue sharing and put it in their pocket and have a 67 million payroll, or the way Tampa Bay is operated. And if you have a floor where everybody's going to spend 120 or 140 because the revenues just continue to go up, which means more money is coming in for every team. If you have 140 million floor, that means there are really good veteran players. Not everybody can be a Dodger or a Yankee or a Met. Those veteran players are going to go to Tampa, go to Pittsburgh. That's going to make that product better. Now, all you need to do is see what the NFL is. Look how balanced the NFL is, because now they have the hard cap, but they also have a floor that everybody has to spend to. That's going to be the solution to the situation. And I don't care what Tony Clark says. I totally disagree with him. Making everybody better makes for a better sport.
I like Ben Higgins. I think he's good. I mean, he always exceeds my expectations, and he keeps doing it. You know, he's got a lot of really interesting takes. And in this case, I agree with him because I think the other owners in Major League Baseball are going to use the Dodgers as an example of saying, see, you know, you have to put a cap on them or they're going to win it every year. And they're going to, because the Kansas City owners, they don't want a floor to spending. They want a cap on the top, you know, so that way they're not as embarrassed by, you know, the Dodgers going out and spending money and winning all the time. So I think it's definitely going to be a variable in the equation on how the CBA is negotiated.
It's working in every other sport.
Yeah.
Why not in Major League Baseball? Make it work. Come to a conclusion.
Yeah. And by the way, you ever watch KGTV Channel 10 News here in San Diego? Because Ben Higgins, you know, is the sports anchor there. He's like a Swiss Army knife, man. Sometimes like the anchor for the news is like emergency or called in sick. And Higgins is like hosting the 6 o'clock news all the way through.
Yep.
That guy's something else.
Now he's worked well. And I worked with him way back in the day at 690, way back when he was just an entry-level guy. And I never knew that he would evolve into being a sports anchor. And he's popular in the community. And what they're doing on the Padre flagship is pretty good. Historically, they've done really good radio ratings. But once the baseball season's over, their ratings drop to the floor, which means to me you're not doing sports talk the way it could be done, should be done.
Oh, there's still plenty of talk about Michael King and Dylan Cease right now. There's still Padre talk. It's still hot and heavy. Yep. Okay, let's keep on trucking. And Mike says, everything goes their way.
Oh, Dodgers. But they earned it.
They did. Okay, let's keep on going. Let's go to Hector. Hi, Lee. The Dodgers will have a lot of money coming off the books with Kershaw, Conforto, Yates, etc. Apart from Murakami, do you see the Dodgers going after Bichette, Tucker, a one-year show-me contract like they did with Teoscar, or trading for an outfielder like Duran or Kwan?
Well, Duran's going to be traded. But the thing is, they seem to like Tucker a great deal. Everybody in baseball, the national guys that I network with, of the opinion, they're going to make a real big pitch to get Kyle Tucker to come. Duran's a really good player. You know, Boston's got some other needs. Boston, I think that's going to be a significant trade. You know, I don't know whether he winds up with the Padres, but I think Duran's going to get traded. The Japanese guys, those guys have got limitations. I mean, they've hit for power and have hit for average. One of the guys, I think, is 31. I think the other's 27. But the Dodgers have Freddie Freeman. So, and there's always concern about, I'm bringing somebody from Japan. Is he going to hit Major League pitching? We don't know. That remains to be seen. Wild card is that there are a bunch of pitchers who have had good success over in Japan. There's another wave of arms coming. Now, they're probably not equal to Ohtani, and they're obviously not Yamamoto, but there is another group of pitchers. So I would bet, as we sit here in November, I would bet there might be 5 to 7 marquee Japanese players that come to the U.S. this coming winter.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
I think that's a great thing.
Well, the market's opened up, and now we realize there's so many good players out there. They're not Ohtani and they're not Yamamoto, but there are some good players.
Yeah, there are. And I just like the whole idea of this being a global sport.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because remember for the longest time, they said, oh, yeah, you know, Japanese baseball is like AAA. But I think they were not given the credit that they deserved.
Well, there's more quality players now developing at a faster rate over there.
Yeah. I mean, it's great.
I mean, the Ichiro Suzuki's were kind of the exception to the rule. I mean, he was a special individual, but there were not a lot of Ichiros over there. Now there's a lot more quality players that are coming on a year-by-year basis. And there are guys who've left here who didn't cut it, went there and developed their game. I mean, Robert Suarez had 3 really good years with the Padres, and this was a journeyman. This was a guy that Mexico didn't want, and Japan didn't do anything special, but yet the Padres' insightful scouting found him. So, I mean, you can find these guys there.
You can. I mean, you got to hit it just right, though. You remember Warren Cromartie?
Yes.
Yeah, he was in Expo,
right?
But he ended up having a really nice run with the Yomiuri Giants out there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that have gone there, stayed there, and made money there, and did very well there.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the movie Mr. Baseball with Tom Selleck?
Yes.
And the great part is when he's meeting the Japanese executives and they were passing business cards, and it's a very ceremonial thing when you pass a business card. And he's like flipping his baseball cards back to these suit and tie guys in Japan. It was pretty funny.
Funny thing, when he was dating a woman, wound up being the daughter of the manager.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah, that's Hollywood for you.
Okay, we move on.
Okay, actually, I should have included this from the top. Sorry, Richard. Thank you, Richard. LA won 7 out of 8 road games. The narrative of the Dodgers being Hollywood and privileged is tired. The blue-collar brand of ball is why they won.
They earned it. Period, exclamation point, end of discussion. They earned it.
They did. I mean, you can't say they didn't earn it. You can't say they backed their way in. I mean, they earned it. But I'm just saying, it's just like the Hollywood, everything goes their way thing. It's just sort of this veneer, this gloss that's on top of, the blue collar, lunch pail mentality of a Miguel Rojas.
Yep.
They have all the glitz and the shimmer, and, they hit the magical home run in the 18th inning. So it's Hollywood is when they play in Chavez Ravine, all the stars are there. So it's a Hollywood event. And I'm not saying it's scripted, but the result was a Hollywood script.
Exactly.
I mean, it's something that you would only see in The Natural with Robert Redford.
Well, the series prior, when Ohtani pitched, struck out the side in the top of the first, hit the leadoff home run in the bottom of the first, and then hit 3 home runs, including the monster shot over the pavilion into Frank McCourt's parking lot. That kind of looked like a Hollywood script.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. Now, what was your take? You love John Smoltz, and he was talking about how when Ohtani was pitching, when Ohtani was hitting and then he had to go back to the mound, he was like dragging his feet, like he was intentionally being slow, and the umpires had some discretion.
But Toronto's manager was kind of barking about delayed time, extra time.
Yeah. And then on one level, you're thinking, okay, maybe he is kind of dragging his feet. But on another level, you're thinking, well, geez, the National League's been doing that for decades, right? Until very recently. So I don't know. Do you think the Shohei Ohtani rule, is it good for baseball? Yeah, because we get to see more Ohtani, but is it really a fair rule?
You're talking about him being a multi-position extra player?
Yeah. So when he comes out of the game as a pitcher, you can still leave him in the game as a hitter.
Should it be resolved? I don't know. But this is such an isolated once in a lifetime thing. And they've thought this through, and they've changed the rule too. So is it illegal? No. Because they all agreed upon it.
Yeah. I mean, from generating fan interest and making money and celebrating Ohtani, it hits on all of those. Yep. It's just kind of weird to make a rule for one guy.
But they didn't make it for Ohtani. They made it for a unique individual. It could have been a Yankee. It could have been a Pirate. It could have been anybody.
Well, yeah, but they made the rule when Ohtani came to America. Yeah. They didn't make the rule back in 1982.
They made it, though, when he was an Angel.
Right, exactly.
Not a Dodger.
But yeah. Okay.
Okay, move on.
Not an anti-Dodger thing there, but although there's plenty of anti-Dodger talk. Okay, let's scroll down here and go to Hilliard. Could LA copy Boston by doing the trifecta? Are the Rams and Lakers next?
Well, in terms of the Dodgers, again, health of pitching, but they have the resources to go replace injured guys, and they're going to have budget space to go get creative and do things. And whether that thing is Kyle Tucker, or that thing is making the trade for the Red Sox outfielder, or that thing is Robert Suarez. Could you imagine if Suarez wound up at Dodger Stadium? Because they're obviously going to go get a relief pitcher. Holy cow.
It was like when Kevin Brown signed with the Dodgers in, what was that, like 1999? And we're like, oh, frick, why go there? But yeah, the Dodgers are going to go out and sign more players. Could it be? I mean, they took Tanner Scott, and they're kind of probably kicking themselves. What is that, $72 million over 4 years? But, here, can the city of LA, do a trifecta and win baseball, football, and basketball all in the same year?
Well, the Rams are really good.
Yeah.
And as long as they have no injuries, I mean, they should be, it's weird. The Rams should be 9-0 right now. Had it not been for 2 screwball things with kickers, they'd be unbeaten.
Yeah, but who do you think is better right now, the Seahawks or the Rams?
Oh, the Rams.
Really?
The Rams defense is superb. I mean, Seattle, yeah, that's a nice accomplishment, but that's a Washington team that's going in the wrong direction. And you're not ordering Seahawk playoff tickets already, are you?
Well, you're the Seahawk guy. Yeah,
But,
you were the voice of the Seahawks.
Lakers are pretty good, but we're talking about mileage here. We're talking about a lot of age. We're talking about injury factor, so there's been no LeBron sighting yet, and Ayton is already hurt. And we don't know if DeAndre Ayton is going to be the complete rim protector that they had hoped he would be when they got him from Portland, because he played really poorly and played himself out of Portland. So Lakers, to me, I'm sorry, at the end of the day, there's Oklahoma City up here, and then there's the rest of the NBA. Now, injuries can change that.
San Antonio, man.
They've been building.
Yeah, I mean, they're dangerous.
Yep.
Is there anyone in the East that you could really count on?
Cleveland looks really dangerous, but Cleveland's got injury issues. Philadelphia is not healthy. Boston has been waylaid by major injuries. Now, I think as the host just said, where's Oklahoma City? And then there's everybody else.
Hey, you getting excited for the NBA Cup? Are they going to do that here in November, that little micro tournament?
Yeah, I'm sure I'm getting excited about that.
Okay.
Move on.
All right, let's move on here. Let's go to Kier. And he says, hey, any manager could be as good as Dave Roberts if you had that roster.
That could be true. But you know what? You have to manage personalities. You have to manage the clubhouse. And that to me, and I said it, I wrote it in my column this morning. Read my column on my website, dummy. I wrote it this morning. The intangible to Dave Roberts is clubhouse chemistry, and egos and personalities and agenda and millionaires and injuries. They never have problems in that clubhouse. And so his ability to handle clubhouse chemistry is equal to his ability to handle analytics and everything else that's on the field. So complete major league manager.
Well, he's a good dude, and so he knows how to handle personalities. He's not like some gruff, grumbling, old, grouchy guy as a manager. Like we've seen a lot of those in baseball. Yep. He seems to have the ability to manage individuals individually, because he's smart and he understands what he's dealing with. So I don't know. I'm really happy that he's had success there, but it's just ridiculous that the Padres didn't even interview him for the job way back when.
And did not want to bring an interview to Bochy.
Well, Bochy, I understand. Remember the new ownership. That was the guys that bought the team on the layaway plan, and it was Morad, right? Jeff Morad. I understand the idea that okay, we have new ownership. We want to turn the page, but man, Bochy wasn't on the free agent market for like 24 hours, and he got gobbled up. And Dave Roberts got hired pretty quick in LA too.
Exactly.
Huh.
The Padres have done their business differently, and last I checked, I haven't gotten an invitation to sit in the press box for a World Series game yet, and the Dodgers have been there already.
Yeah, they have. Okay, let's go here to go to Casey. Hey, love to see Aztecs and my USC Trojans game schedule a home and home against each other.
There's no space on the USC schedule now with the Big Ten thing, so I don't think that's going to happen. USC, in all the years I've been here, and I've been here since 1987, they played here one time. And the Aztecs tied them. That was in the Falk year. That was the 31-31 tie. And UCLA, I think, only came in here maybe one time, maybe twice, to play San Diego State, and they beat them both times. So I don't think there's no space on the Big Ten schedule for anything like SC versus San Diego State.
Well, if the Aztecs keep raising their profile as a group of five, that might change. I mean, UCLA basketball is a lot more willing to come to San Diego and play games, where that was like taboo before.
Yes. But that's a reach.
Yeah. But, I remember the Aztecs. Remember we went to the Rose Bowl a few years ago and knocked off the Bruins? That was a big win.
Yes.
Big time win for them. So, yeah, it's still LA big brother. It doesn't matter what sport it is. LA is the big brother. Okay. And go here to Jay Farrell. Hey, Dave's been with them long before they had this roster. Lots of other managers have had great rosters too.
Yep. But he's managing. This is a different era. The money that is made now by players, and it's a player's game. And to be able to handle your clubhouse and make it work, what's the word I'm looking for, John? Peer pressure. There's probably some leadership for the players that we don't get access to I think there's peer pressure from within that clubhouse that Dave Roberts has given, and maybe it's Freddie Freeman, maybe it's Mookie Betts, maybe it was Kershaw. There's peer pressure that allows that clubhouse to operate the way it does.
It's culture.
Culture.
Yeah, it's culture is what that is. And yeah, a manager's got to know when to kind of step back and let the boys handle the boys, rather than having, the boss in there. So
it's very different. It's a very different feel right now as it relates to the Dodgers and their culture and their clubhouse versus the upheaval that is Padre baseball. Whether that's Schilt, his coaches, whether that's Preller, interference with the Melvin era. Because there's a lot of bad stuff that happened at the tail end of the Bob Melvin failure, and then the personalities in the Padre clubhouse, good guy, bad guy, selfish guy. I tend to think the best thing that ever happened was Soto leaving and Hader leaving. But at the end of the day, here we are with Tatis and Manny Machado, and they haven't been to a World Series yet, despite the blueprint.
Hey, but Tatis won another Gold Glove.
He hit 211 in the postseason.
Yeah, I know.
Please.
Just joking. I know.
Started. Okay, let's do a couple more here before we wrap it up.
Okay, this is a comment here from AJ. Probably knows you were coming back from the press conference. He goes, "Hey, what's more likely? Aztec football teams make the playoff, or Aztecs men's basketball team makes the Final Four?"
Oh, I think hoops. The expectation level in college basketball for San Diego State is the highest it's ever been. I thought about this. I wish I could have stayed for Brian Dutcher's press conference, but this team, the way it's structured, the layers of talent, experience, athleticism, the incoming transfers, and then the blue chip freshmen. I asked this question to this Mr. Basketball. Could this team, the way it's constructed, if Guath was totally healthy and Bird is Bird, and all the other layers of talent, could this team beat the Kawhi Leonard NCAA team or beat the Jamal Franklin NCAA team? Because we got 30-win basketball teams at San Diego State in the history book, but the level of expectation of this team seems a lot better than those teams.
Yeah, and then there's the Xavier Thames era as well. This team's loaded. And, we haven't been able to see much of them, because the UCLA scrimmage wasn't on television.
Yeah.
And I saw some clips, like some people were in the arena with their phone, and that Miles Heide is a beast. You should see the offensive boards that guy's getting.
Just grow into it.
He is really developed. So he could be really special. And I'm going down the list here, and it was from Michael, and he had that comment. Is it Tuesday yet? Aztecs Long Beach College basketball tomorrow. Can't wait. Need an update on the Aztec Center. And I was thinking that's got to be a battle between Miles Heide and Pharaoh Compton, right?
Exactly. And Guath, the question that's going to have to be posed, has Guath gotten clearance to do 5-on-5s in practice? And how will there be a load management for Guath? I think there probably has to be.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of minutes. And when will he actually start to play and get minutes? Will it be the end of November? And how will they handle that going forward? And of course, the non-conference games. They got Oregon, Michigan, Arizona. So is Guath going to be ready to play Magoon Guath basketball by the time those guys show up on the schedule?
Yeah, great question. And I think even Dutcher was talking about that. He may not really kind of get his wings until we get into December, and then all those big, scheduling opportunities are in the rearview mirror. But they got enough guys, that I think that can cover for them. And like this freshman, LZ Harrington, what a mature young man he is. I was really impressed with him. So there's a lot to really like about this. It's going to be just a really fun season.
Yeah. So to get back to the original question, Aztec football is playing really well. Let's see what they do in Hawaii, that they don't get ambushed by a team that throws the ball all over the parking lot. Then again, Boise State back here before they wrap this up. But I tend to think we're talking Elite Eight, Final Four. Huh? If they're totally healthy, I think it's there. It's
possible, but that's a tough one to predict.
That's a long road.
Yeah, just make the dance, get in, win the Mountain West Conference for a change. They haven't won that in a while. So let's go here down the list, and a little correction here from David. He says Dodgers owners and Friedman thanked the Blue Jays.
They did at the end, but I thought Manfred should have really thanked Canada and thanked the Blue Jays for uniting. Uniting the Dominion. I thought Manfred could have handled that presentation a little bit better. You're obviously there to honor Yamamoto for that unbelievable accomplishment and honor Ohtani and honor the Dodgers. But I thought they should have said something really nice about what the Blue Jays represented to the whole Dominion, and they didn't do it till toward in the middle of the conversation when Friedman I think was the first one that made the statement.
It's always weird, like when players are interviewed after winning a championship, and they'll thank the other team, and that is the gentlemanly thing to do. But I don't know, as a fan, I sort of roll my eyes a little, okay, because I want them to say, man, we've worked all year for this. This has been our goal, and we had ups and downs, but we overcame our accomplishments, and I had, this guy and that guy start naming names on his roster. We all did it. It was a team effort. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear them take pride in what they just achieved.
I agree.
Thanking the other team is nice, but come on, this is all about you. It's not about the second place team. And I mean that in a good way.
You want to borrow my Dodger hoodie?
No, that's against my religion. My mom would have a heart attack if she saw me wearing that.
She's already disowned you, so it doesn't matter. Hey, listen, we hope you've enjoyed this podcast. It's been spectacular. The amount of baseball conversation. And this World Series is over. The offseason has begun because we're going to talk wall-to-wall free agency going forward. And if you're an NFL fan, you need to be here with us because we have a lot of stories to cover in the NFL. And obviously, we'll talk basketball, we talk hockey, talk all the other topics on the table. Please check my website. Read my one man's opinion column that I wrote today about the Dodgers and what they represent in Major League Baseball. Feel free to comment on that. And again, that website, it's posted. It's there. The first thing every morning. You won't believe the volume of information that we have. This podcast brought to you by DIXIELINE Lumber and Home Centers, 9 locations to serve you in San Diego. Go to DIXIELINE.com to see all the things that they have to offer. Are you ready for free agency? Because we're going to dive into free agency. We'll be back on Thursday at 1:30.
I'm really, really happy to get college basketball going. Aztec football is doing great. Turn the page on the Padres. We will talk free agency, but there's still so much more to talk about in the world of sports. That's what makes this podcast so fun to do with you.
We will be back 1:30 on Thursday afternoon. Hope you'll tell your friends. Give us a thumbs up. Give us a 5-star rating. Hit the follow button. Thanks as always for being with us. Have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you come Thursday on Hacksaw's Headlines.
Join us again for Hacksaw's Headlines on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. And find the audio version on your favorite podcast app. For more content, go to LeeHacksawHamilton.com.